Hello, everybody. Welcome to another amazing edition of the Gimmick Minute Wrestling Podcast. My name is Jason, and I'm joined this week by both Kevin and Riley. How you fellas doing today?
Fantastic.
All right. Kev? No, nothing. He's got an Orange Cassidy thumbs up. All right, so our YouTube viewers will see that. All right, so if you're new to the show, we are the Gimmick Minute Wrestling Podcast. We basically just talk about things going on in the world of professional wrestling with our delightful little banter kind of mixed in between. A lot of times we go off the rails and stay completely off of topic, but it's just kind of the fun of our show. So if you want to listen in more or you want to subscribe, please click the subscribe button. Make sure you comment on the show, leave us a review. And in addition to that, if you want to find out information on our podcast or interact with me specifically, you can find me on X, which is at Live Your Gimmick. That's the at symbol followed by LIVYOUR GIMMICK. Riley and Kevin don't really interact much on Twitter. Riley doesn't even have one or know what it is. So, it's really just me if you ever see anything posted or comments made on things.
Mostly comments made on things.
Yeah, I do like to comment on things. I do like to throw in my 2 cents every now and again, but I try to do so in a way to create discord, not in a way to create controversy. But I think sometimes it ends up going the other way.
If Michael's here, he would say it's more like someone on Twitter says the sky is blue, and Jason says, "No, you fucking Mark, it's green."
but it's not quite like that. But anyway, all right. So I feel.
Can we start off the show talking about Barry Windham?
Yeah, please.
Okay. He's one of my favorites. All right, moving on.
That's for Tony.
I would like to hear more.
Do you care to elaborate on your favorite being Barry Windham?
No. That's enough for this week. There'll be more next.
Riley, did you come prepared with your one note?
That's a no.
Yeah, I think I have a note. I've got something up my sleeve.
Why are you getting a pen and a paper? And what are you searching?
Yeah, I think I have one. I think I do.
Yeah.
All right, so I figure we'll touch a little bit on some things that happen on Raw and SmackDown. Maybe even touch on a quick NXT thing, but then pretty much spend the majority of the time talking about AEW because Dynamite just happened yesterday. Plus, we got Fullgear coming up on Saturday, so maybe we'll do like a little kind of light prediction for Fullgear. And I'll be honest with you, I've never really considered buying an AEW pay-per-view before. I think I've just gotten spoiled with WWE being on their own network or being on Peacock, where you basically just pay the monthly subscription and you get everything. So the whole idea of dropping like $60 on a show just doesn't really seem too appealing to me. But if there was one I was going to buy, this one might be it, because they do have me on at least two of the stories. And the first one being the MJF, the Devil storyline, who is the Devil. That's got me a little bit, even though I'm pretty sure it's going to be Adam Cole. Like, I'm pretty positive it's going to be Adam Cole. Or at least, some relation to Adam Cole.
Yeah, and then they also came out and said that apparently it was Sean Ross Sapp, who's a pretty credible source. Like, he learned that the attackers are, like, legit people. Like, they haven't been just people that've been dressing up. Like, so they're a part of it, too. So it's a legit, like, group of people, not just, like, okay, it's just the Devil, and then, like, you have random people. Like, these have been the actual, like, people that are going to be revealed. So.
Okay. Well, that's good. Good to know. And it almost kind of seems like a little bit about what MJF tried to do when he stole the poker chip, and they had like that kind of faction, but then that things happened and that got kind of blown up. But and the other match that's got my attention is the Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland match. I mean, the storyline building to that is really good, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. But it just those two matches really have me. Like that's probably some of the best storytelling AEW has really done in quite a while, if not since their existence. So, I'm intrigued. I may still not buy the pay-per-view, but I'm intrigued. It's at least got me wanting to put some money down on it.
It's going to put to bed that it's not CM Punk because he's coming back at Survivor Series. But anyway.
Right. But anyway, so going back, WWE had Crown Jewel. We talked about that last week, and then of course, then we got into SmackDown. A couple quick things that kind of came out of SmackDown. One, the fact that Kevin Owens was on commentary. We talked about who we thought might fill in for Corey Graves. It was Kevin Owens. I thought he did a brilliant job. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 100%. As soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, this is going to be fucking cool. Are you kidding me?
Way better than Pat McAfee.
Come on.
Way better. Which brings me to my note. Too many sparkles. You got too many sparkles.
I did love the fact that he wore a tie over his t-shirt. That was great.
Oh, he always does that. Yeah. Classic.
He's still no like Triple H during the pandemic era.
Yeah.
That was still one of the best, like, in the longest time. So
when he came back and they came back from commercial and he was holding the camera.
He's like, guys, like, he said we're short staffed, or getting hyped with Mojo Rawley.
Yeah. Another good one too. Remember when everybody went on strike and CM Punk did the commentary? Or like,
that could have been so much better if they didn't cut it so short. You know what I mean? Like, can I wear your jacket? You can wear can I wear your blazer? You can wear my blazer. I'm in.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, and the other thing, man, it looks like Rey Mysterio might be out for a period of time. So they had a whole thing with Santos attacking him, and he had knee surgery.
Yeah,
so I guess that was a planned spot. He had posted a picture of himself with the the wrap on his knee and said something about successful surgery, and Santos took the picture and reposted it and said, "Don't come back." So then what's going to happen now? So is the LWO a heel faction now, like under Santos, or what?
I mean, I just don't remember. Like, was anybody else was this just pretty much them? I kind of I was in and out of this segment. Like, I eventually found it and watched more of it. I guess I mean Santos going back through the crowd and stuff, but I mean, I don't know. Is it going to be a thing where where's Carlito playing this, and you know what I mean?
Were you gonna say something, Ron?
Well, it looks like Santos is on the outs of LWO.
Okay.
And
he's a one. He's a
right
one Latino nation.
Well, it's just kind of weird though, because Carlito was the one that kind of instigated the whole thing. Ray was trying to play peacemaker, but Carlito kind of came out and accused him, and then it led to that altercation with Santos and Ray. But the other two, Wilder and Phoenix, they stayed out of it. They didn't really get involved much at all with it. So yeah, I guess that's a good question. Is there still going to be an LWO? Is Carlito the odd man out, or is Santos going to be the odd man out? And with Ray not being there for 6 to 8 months, and you still have Zelina too, so where's she fit into the whole thing? So it's just kind of it is kind of just weirdly up in the air. So yeah, be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, all right. Trying to think. I mean, I talked about it already, but Jimmy Uso's new character is great. Did you guys catch that backstage interview that he did?
I didn't.
Remind me.
He basically cut a promo on LA Knight, and during the promo, he was talking about how he was going to fight LA Knight, and that I forget exactly what he said, but a lot of people did point out that the board that he was standing in front of had some stars on it. So another CM Punk reference, but he goes at the end of it, he goes yeet,
Yeah,
And then all of a sudden,
I saw that.
his phone rings and he picks it up. And he goes, "Yeah, Tribal Chief, what's up?" And then he hangs up the phone, looks at the camera, and goes, "No yeets." That was great. That was good stuff, man. I'm loving everything Jimmy Uso's doing.
I just want to point out, I'm still here. I just had to go off camera because Ava's driving home from Walsh, and I'm just checking her Life 360 to see where she's at. So I apologize for the interruption here.
Trying to make sure your daughter's not dying. I got it.
Who's driving home?
Ava.
Huh. I didn't know she was old enough to drive.
Yeah,
she's older than Lily.
Last time I saw her, she was like 8 years old.
Yeah, she got her license a couple months ago. So she's
Man, you're old.
Yeah, I know. It's I mean, it's still always nerve-wracking, not to go off like, I know it's a wrestling podcast, but like it's still nerve-wracking, but like, knock on wood, she's a pretty good driver, and I guess it's getting easier every day. So
that's good. That's good.
I mean, your niece could be driving too if she wasn't lazy and not trying to get her temps.
I tried it. Yeah.
Some kids don't want to get their licenses.
Yeah, I know.
There's so many kids that are so like older than Ava that they haven't done anything yet. Like not even gone for their temps.
Like I was older when I got mine. Like I was like 17 because I didn't need a car. I had you guys to pick me up all the time. So
I could not wait to get my like Liam's like me. He wants to get his license now. Like I could not. I was like 12 years old ready to get my license. Like I mean, I got mine like 2 days after I turned 16. Could not wait.
All right, so the other thing that I want to kind of touch on real quick, coming off of SmackDown. I mean, of course, we got the LA Knight stuff and whatever, but so I didn't even really. I guess because the men's War Game match last year was so damn good, it so overshadowed everything else. I kind of like low key forgot that there was actually a women's War Games match last year.
Yes, there was. That was the one.
Damage Control, and then they had
was Rhea on their team?
I think so, yeah. And then they had then Becky had a team, and so now it seems like though that's possibly what's building now. So if you caught the end of SmackDown, Asuka joined
Damage Control,
Kyrie and Io, so technically Damage Control. Even though Bayley, who's supposed to be the leader of Damage Control, had no idea what the hell was going on.
Yeah,
but she's like, "Oh, I'm included! Yay!" She was so excited. So, and that kind of puts Bianca and Charlotte at a disadvantage. So, that stands to reason that there's a possibility that this could turn into a War Games match. But then if it's let's say it's a 4-on-4, who's the other two teaming with Charlotte and Asuka?
That's a good question.
Or not Charlotte and Asuka, Charlotte and Bianca.
Yeah,
because Asuka's on the other side now. So it's it's really real interesting to see like how are they gonna play that now.
I'd have to almost kind of like off the top of my head, I don't know a lot of the roster. Like maybe
there really isn't much.
Maybe Zelina. Give her something to do, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but she's got the whole LWO thing going on. So is that like something that you distract her from then? Like, that's...
I'd say so, maybe.
So,
but I mean, honestly, but the thing is, I guess there's not a lot of time to build. It'd almost have to happen this Friday, but it does have.
Yeah, I guess they have another week.
Yeah,
so
I'm just saying because I think eventually Bayley's gonna get turned on and then go back to being a babyface. I think it's time to put back in that role. Like,
I wholeheartedly agree.
It just sucks that this didn't happen maybe a few weeks ago because they could take her out. She's off for a couple weeks, and then now all of a sudden she's on their team for War Games. So I mean, especially for the women's, 4-on-4 is fine. Obviously, we're gonna have 5-on-5 for the men's, but like to me, 4-on-4 is just fine. I feel like there wasn't most NXTs, Jason. War Games 4-on-4?
Yeah, a lot of them were. Yeah.
So
I mean, we obviously found out the men's is going to be 5-on-5.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know who the fifth member of the other team is, but and we'll talk about that here in a minute.
Yeah,
But
oof.
just scrolling through, women on the SmackDown roster, you have Alba Fire, which her and
Isla
Isla
Dawn.
Dawn, yeah. I mean, they're really not going to be doing anything. That doesn't really make sense. I mean, I guess they could have 5-on-5 if Dakota's cleared to be able to perform. So don't really know what the status of Dakota Kai is, whether she's healthy or not enough or not. You have, let's see, Kairi Sane's added on there. You have Michin, but she's not really doing much. Scarlett, she's not really doing much. Why is Stephanie McMahon listed as a SmackDown superstar? That doesn't make any sense. And then
Once
Zelina
a star,
Vega,
always a star.
yeah. Then you have Zelina Vega and Tamina, and that's it. Like, there's no other women listed on. So unless you're bringing somebody back or bringing somebody in, or I guess the one rumor was potentially that maybe Becky would get dragged in because she still has some sort of history with all the women in the match. Like, there's a possibility of that, but. Yeah, I mean, that's really the only thing I can think of. It's Shotzi would make sense because she has history with Bayley and Damage Control.
Yeah.
So I could see that. I could see Shotzi, but outside of Shotzi, I can't see anybody else that would make sense to have on that team.
No, not unless there was like an NXT like fill-in or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but even that, like, it's still got to make some sort of storyline sense, right? You would think.
That's what I would think. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I understand they want to, like, I really don't think there's enough there to do a women's war games. Like, to me, like, the men's, like, there's almost barely enough to do a men's war games, if that makes sense.
You don't think the story's good enough, you mean, to do a men's one?
No, I think it's good enough, but, like, almost barely, so.
Yeah. Well, and we'll let's jump right into that, right? On Monday Night Raw, I mean, probably the biggest thing that happened outside of I mean, really, I mean, Raw was a really good show, don't get me wrong. Miz and Ivar had a great match. Nakamura continued to be kind of creepy in promos.
CM Punk.
And then, yeah.
No, real quick, I was just thinking about this, but like, as far as the men's war games, I guess what I mean is there is enough to do one and everything. I guess what I'm thinking of is that, like, I almost feel like it almost needed like another maybe month or more of. Well, I don't know. No, I
mean, this has been building for a long time. I mean, Cody being interrupted by Judgment Day interrupting, like, you know what I mean? Like, that it's Sammy's issues with Judgment Day. Like, it has. I guess it's building.
Just like, it may not have. Like, don't just throw something together. You know what I mean? Like, and just don't have. You know what I mean? Like, why have a women's war game? Why not have the women do like the traditional Survivor Series match?
Which they still could. I mean, they haven't announced that yet. I mean, that might be a way to go.
That way you can bring in just random people. You know what I mean? Like, to help out and something like that. That would be a little bit better than like a War Games, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it'd be fun if they did like a Raw vs. SmackDown traditional Survivor Series match in some way, shape, or form. Like, bring in some guys that don't have a spot on the show right now and kind of set that up, doing it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I don't like that they're getting away from that. I like the traditional stuff, like Raw versus SmackDown. Like, that's what I want for Survivor Series.
Yeah, and you'll never see the days of like the first Survivor Series and stuff where it's just nothing but 5-on-5s and like which.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I love the War Games concept, and even some of those ones in NXT were kind of thrown together, but they were still really good.
Oh yeah, like honestly, some of those NXT War Games were like, I would put those up there with some like WCW ones. You know what I mean? Like, you know, WCW had, there was a few here and there like they were really really good. Like, probably like '92 was like the best War Games match ever, but like outside of that, they were kind of. A lot of them, other than the early ones, are not very memorable. But like some of those NXT ones, like still the spot with Ciampa going backwards to the table with Cole, that was pretty awesome. And the Dakota Kai turn on Tegan Nox.
Yeah, where she beat the shit out of Tegan Nox.
That was awesome. So Plus, sorry, but wasn't that also when Rhea Ripley did the Riptide to Baszler, I think, through the chairs or something, and like that was the same match.
Yes.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yep.
women's match was pretty special.
Phenomenal. Yeah. So I mean, it's possible. I think they could get away with doing it. I wouldn't be mad at it. I guess because you know how much backlash they would get. Oh, you had a men's war game match, but you didn't have a women's war game match. Like it's almost like every big match now has to be counterbalanced. Like it's hopefully eventually we'll get to a point where maybe we have a women's war game match and not a men's because the story is better on the women's side than it's on the men's side. Like I get the 2 Royal Rumbles, I get the 2 Money in the Bank matches, but for a match like this, kind of similar to Hell in the Cell, it almost seems like it needs that feud, that blood feud to like really be paid off in this way.
We don't mean that in like a sexist way or anything. It just could be anything. The women right now could have a better story than the men. We could still say, well, why? But you already got, you know what I mean? Like, don't throw together a men's match. You know what I mean? Like, so it could go. It could go.
Yeah, exactly. It's whatever. It's same thing with main eventing a show. Like whatever the A story is should main event that show. Not just having the main event be the main event. Whatever the best story is, even if it's not the title story, whatever the best story is should main event that show because that's what everybody's paying to see, so to speak. Well, I guess in a way, but yeah, man, I don't know, but again, like the wild card though was Drew McIntyre. So we had the tag team championship match at the end of the night. Everybody from Judgment Day, everybody from the Cody and Jey Uso side barred from ringside. They're not even allowed in the building. They got kicked out earlier, which was interesting. They made JD McDonough an actual member of Judgment Day, so it's official now. And then out of nowhere, McIntyre, who earlier had congratulated Seth and shook his hand, then pops out of the crowd and claymores Jey Uso, and the show ends with him shaking Rhea Ripley's hand, which was very interesting.
Yes.
Judgment Day has no leader, but I think Rhea Ripley is firmly in charge of everything going on.
I'm all for that because, like, again, there you go. I mean, there's been strong valets, there's been strong women managers, you know what I mean, that have been like heads of things, but like in this day and age and everything, like somebody who's also a competitor, like it's pretty firm. Yes, she's the world champion. She's the leader. I don't care if it's women's or men's. She's a world champion, and she's the leader. Mommy gets what mommy wants. But yeah, that right there. Like, I think I don't want to say I didn't see it coming or I did see it coming because I was back and forth on it just because at times McIntyre made you think like, okay, like I'm not this like can't be babyface anymore. Am I a heel? I'm not really. Am I? Aren't I? You know what I mean? Like he just is what he is.
Yeah.
But now, like this, like firmly happening. Like, okay, now shit's on. Especially what Cody said off there, too.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to see that, Riley?
Nope.
So Cody, after the show went off the air, had the microphone in his hand and said, okay, well, looks like they have a friend. Well, guess what? We have one too. And then kind of left it open-ended, but the crowd started chanting Randy. And he didn't correct them.
And there's history there between those two. Especially like the pandemic era, even though it was different, face heel. But still, like that to me, like is the logic.
That'd be my guess. Yeah.
And that'd be awesome.
And I think we'll find that out next week on Raw because I don't think they're gonna want to leave it up to being a question mark because I don't think they want the crowd to assume it's going to be CM Punk. So I think it'll be smart if somehow that's revealed. Now, it'd be great if it was revealed by Randy popping out of nowhere and hitting an RKO that nobody sees coming because that's gonna be the best way. I can think of a few ways that they could really make that work, but It'd be interesting to see, man. I mean, Randy, but that's the thing. The only thing that concerns me about that is Randy had major back surgery and has been gone from the ring for over a year. And your first match back is War Games.
Well, I think the easy way to protect that is that he goes in last, and the match pretty much ends pretty quick after that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, he can't take. I'd be shocked to see him take like a major bump through a table or, a hard shot on the the in between the ring thing or anything like that. Like, I'd be really surprised to see him take anything like that. But
and they don't have to have him do any of that.
Yeah.
There is going to be 9 other people in that match
right.
that can take all of those, and he can just be the guy that's hitting all of his moves.
And he's smart because the way Randy Orton does what Randy Orton does. You know what I mean? Like, so like if they say, if he feels good enough to do this and that, he's not. Otherwise, he wouldn't fucking do it. He'd be like, no, I don't. I'm good. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you're right.
You know what I mean? Like,
so what do you think of this? What if on the night after War Games, Randy ends up turning on Cody, and that's the next feud that we have for Cody?
Yeah, I can see that happening. I honestly think that's what's going to happen. I think either he turns that night or the next night, like really quickly.
Wouldn't it also be interesting if Seth is incapacitated during this match and Priest ends up finding a way to cash in
during the match
on Seth during the match? Yeah,
I'd be surprised.
Yeah, but that's good that you'd be surprised. Because you don't really think about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's good. I want something like that. I wanted to take something like that to where, you know what I mean? You expect it, and all of a sudden, boom, like, he's just out of nowhere.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that's pretty much all I really want to cover with Monday Night Raw. I mean, I know I watched NXT too. It was a pretty decent show. I think the most intriguing thing to me about what's going on in NXT right now is that I'm pretty sure Carmelo Hayes is the one that took out Trick Williams, but Lexus King is taking the credit for it because he knows that Carmelo's not gonna call him out on it and say no.
So
it was really me.
I didn't watch his promo from a couple weeks ago. People said it was really bad or something like that.
He's gotten a little. The last couple of weeks, it's been a little campy and a little forced.
Okay, because the one thing I did see him say, which I was like awesome with, was especially like, okay, this whole thing of taking the last name of his abusive stepfather, but the reason why is because he's like basically graphically, he's like, he raped me in my childhood, so I'm raping him of his last name, basically, or you know what I mean, like not figuratively rape, obviously. Or take it, I mean. But, like, so I thought that's a good explanation for it. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, like, just, yes, things probably forced or whatever, but I'm telling you, like, I think if he believes it, then it's going to work. You know what I mean? If they believe it, he believes it, like, I think
he's still finding his way. He's had some really good promos and really good lines, and he's had a few that were kind of like, all right. The one that he did with Carmelo and Trick in the ring, though, I thought that was pretty good. It was the backstage this week that I thought was the one that I was like, I don't know, Riley. Did you watch it? How do you feel about it?
Was the one this week was just him with Baron Corbin, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that's the one that I thought was kind of fun. Yeah.
I thought that was okay. Yeah, I didn't have any problem with it. I'm like, he definitely took 100% credit for attacking Trick Williams, and it was the one I think during Halloween Havoc or something where he was sitting in that chair, eating out of the goblet or whatever. That one seeed very forced.
Everybody said it's the one with Trick and Carmelo Hayes in the ring. They said it was. It was cringeworthy, I guess. I don't know.
But I think it's kind of on purpose though, because I think I think the issue is he's taking credit for something he didn't actually do. So it's a little. I think it's purposely that way because he's kind of being weaselly about it, and that's kind of where that's coming off. So that's kind of what I wrote it off to. Like, it did kind of feel that way, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, okay, he's taking credit for something that he knows Carmelo did, but he knows Carmelo isn't going to call him out on it, so he's being a little coy with his delivery with stuff, and that's what I took from it.
Yeah.
So,
that's funny that was your NXT one. What I'm more interested in is the scandal at Chase U.
Yeah, what is the scandal at Chase U?
No idea, but I'm interested. I want to know.
Have you seen any of that, Kevin?
Just bits and pieces on Twitter.
It's basically like a hardball level scandal going on at Chase U right now.
Yeah. If we have time in the show, we can talk off air about that. But you guys saw the stuff happen today. Michigan basically.
I haven't seen anything happen.
So
today.
Here's my side note.
But
like, so basically, Michigan, who said they were going to fight tooth and nail, in court, the suspension and all this and that, and we are this, and it's us against everybody, but we're America's team. So nice contradiction there. But anyway, they come out and they basically like they're accepting the suspension, case closed, with the Big Ten, because the Big Ten basically has them by the nuts. So they basically took a bargain deal with them. Now, doesn't mean the NCAA is done. So there's more that's going to happen, but that's basically them saying, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, Harbaugh is going to the NFL next year.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he's going to Chicago probably.
Yeah, no, and plus they're losing. They have like 40 seniors on their team or something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, whatever. Us, Michigan versus everybody, but we're America's team.
Oh man. All right. Well, let's get into AEW.
I got time for a show. Hopefully it's not too long. So,
what's
us
that?
versus everybody, America's podcast.
That's pretty long.
I know.
We can just say America's podcast and go from there. All right. So, I don't know. Do you guys want to kind of go through the Fullgear card and then talk about Dynamite as we go through it, or is there anything like that stands out from Dynamite? Like I have some notes on Dynamite.
Yeah, we just go back and forth. I'd probably go a little quicker that way.
Okay. All right. Cool. So we'll kind of start going through the cards. So let me scroll down here. All right, so we have a 4-way tag team championship match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. So Starks and Big Bill are going to defend against La Faction Ignorable.
Yeah, La Faction.
What's funny is that I don't think Jason screwed that up. I think that's an actual thing.
Rushin Juralistico versus FTR, and then also the Kings of the Black Throne, which are Malachi Black and Brody King. So it's a 4-way match. So there has been some build to this, but it's been on Collision, which my DVR, I keep forgetting to record it, so I really haven't watched much Collision. But I really don't know enough to like really say. I could say who I think I'd like to win, which would be the Kings of the Black Throne, personally for me. So that's who I would pick to win.
Yeah, that's who I want to win. Who I think's going to win, I have no fucking clue.
Right.
So let's how about this? With these picks, let's just go with who we want to win.
Yeah.
So I want.
I think it's gonna be Roosh.
You don't think it's going? You don't think it's going to be?
I don't know who they are.
And the douchebag.
That's Roosh.
Yeah, it's Roosh.
That's. Oh,
that's wait, who? Picked.
Huh?
I don't know who they are.
I'm sorry, I don't speak Spanish. I try to learn it. I try my best, but I don't always fully
I
understand.
don't know who they are, but I'm gonna
I
pick them.
apologize, but
So you're picking Roosh and Trelestico. That's
it's
your
not
pick.
it's not Preston.
Who's Preston?
He's the other guy.
No, it's Roosh
No,
and
he's the white
Trelestico.
guy.
Yeah, it's not the white guy. So, are they still your pick then, or are you going somewhere else?
No, I'm still gonna pick them.
Okay,
I think he's gonna go FTR.
All right, and then they've been building this not so much with like Chris Statlander in the picture. It's more been Julia Hart and Sky Blue, but they have a chance in a 3-way match against Chris Statlander for the TBS Women's Championship. Dude, I like Julia Hart. I know it'd be House of Black coming away with 2 championships.
I like
but
Julia Hart too.
I kind of like. I love the presentation of Julia Hart.
I mean, she's really
it's gonna be Sky Blue.
even after that match last night.
Yes.
You see that, Jason?
It's gonna be Sky Blue.
I watched the whole match. What was the botch?
The ending or something.
Oh yeah, her finishing move, like she hit it a little rough, but it wasn't terrible though. So why Sky Blue?
I wonder. Give us a couple reasons. Maybe 4. Oh,
I don't know. She's got good assets.
She's got nice peaches. All right. I'm gonna skip this one until. Well, I might as well go in order because then I'll forget it. So this is the other one that I said earlier that was the one that I was going to be excited to watch. It's Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana for the grudge match.
I think it's a Texas Death
really
match,
well
isn't it, or something?
It is a Texas Death match.
Yeah.
Thank you. Correct. Yeah, with Texas Death match. This
Who won the
really
first
well
match?
Hangman did, right?
Okay.
So but I feel like the thing is though, with this type of build and classic wrestling storyline, Hangman would have to win, right? Like you went into this dude's house and threatened his family. Like that's classic, like leading to the babyface win. But in this situation, I almost would rather Swerve win personally.
Get a third one out of it.
Yep.
Yeah,
easily,
through some sort of
like this has been like it's amazing how sometimes AEW just gets some of these feuds sometimes randomly that are just they do so well with, and like if they do this one right, easily get a third match. And I'm talking like the next pay-per-view. You can easily get a few more months out of this program.
Yeah. Hangman's great with a personal storyline. Like you give him something personal to chew into, he's great with it. Dude, his promo, his promo was good. He did steal something from Seth though. Because that whole line about, well, that's why your fiance left you and your kids want nothing to do with you. That was, remember when Seth said that to Riddle before their cage match?
I did. I didn't.
Remember
the thing is, I didn't.
They had that
and I didn't even realize
thing.
that was a stolen line. But like, I mean, it's the truth though for Swerve. So you know what I mean, like.
Oh, so and I didn't know that though. So that Swerve's fiance left him, and
supposedly that's the true line, or whatever.
Okay.
So. But I mean, come on, the line about I'm gonna steal your weed. Like, come on, that was awesome. Like, he was cooking, man. Like, and the fact that they couldn't touch each other, and then he started beating the shit out of Nana, like that, and like Swerve had to stand there. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, done such a good job, and like, if Swerve wins, like, you're getting a third something. Whether we're going to get like a cage match or, or whatever, something. Yeah, I think you definitely, because this is a story.
Where do you go from a Texas death match?
I know, right?
It's like... Oh
my God, please not an exploding barbed wire match. God. But that's what I'm saying. Like, they keep doing it right. Like, this is like another one of those feuds, like, we've talked about it before. AEW is the land of 1,000 titles. Like, this doesn't need a title.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
No, it's not.
It's just like the, like, I don't know. There's been plenty of feuds they've had like that don't need a title, and this is another one. So like, kudos to them. And this one kind of to me just kind of came out of nowhere a few months ago. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, it's been going on. Yeah, I guess it's been a few months, but they had a match at the last
right.
pay-per-view, and they had a pretty decent build even going into that. That one was all about, Swerve believing he was on Hangman's level, and
Yeah, and then they just turned
that he
it
should
like,
be surpassing
yeah.
him.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm with you.
yeah, they
Like, I'm
turned it
with
on a
you.
dime.
If something was gonna sell me on it, like this is definitely a match.
Yeah. When he goes, Nana makes his living off of you, and then he goes and spends that living buying weed from a high school kid in the
Yes.
parking lot. Like,
Dude, it was.
Nana the whole time. No, I don't do that. I don't.
That's
do
why,
that.
like Riley in our Discord chat, like I shared it. I'm sure, but like saw it, but like I shared it, and I was like, cowboy shit.
Oh man, yeah, that was the best I've seen Hangman in a long time. So, I think Swerve's got to win it though, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think he's going to too. Honestly, that would be my prediction. So,
all right, okay, I like that. So we're all in agreement with this one. I swerve when I drive. The one thing I did notice, and it was a little subtle, but when his music hit, oh my god! Sorry, I just looked up at the screen and saw Lamar Jackson just fall over.
oh yeah, he turfed himself. Dude, Burrow's out.
I know,
Jackson's
I saw
hurt.
that.
Jackson's hurt
collapsed. Too. He's playing hurt. Well, good. They can all kill each other.
Yeah,
the Browns.
let them both go down.
Yeah. Anyway, so but did you catch when the music hit and they were coming out and Nana's doing his dance? Swerve kind of like looked over at him and rolled his eyes.
Yeah.
So there's a little little dissension there, a little hint at what may be to come down the road.
Yeah, I can see like Swerve winning and not, you know what I mean, and then just beating the shit out of him too after.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Now we got the tag team match again. Kind of a personal rivalry. We got the Golden Jets because Kenny Omega can't be in a tag team without the word "golden" in it. Versus the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. So the Golden Jets, Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho. For anybody that isn't sure, it's a little bit of a play on the Winnipeg Jets because they're both from Winnipeg, and Kenny Omega apparently is golden because I don't know, is his hair, is that what it is, or what is it that's so golden about him?
I don't know what that is. Like him and Ibushi are the Golden Lovers, but like right. I don't know why. I don't know. That's something I definitely have to look into.
Yeah. So they have their match against. So Matt and Nick Jackson are basically jealous. This seems to be a common story with them. Anytime Kenny makes a friend outside of them, they don't like it, and they wear their jealousy pretty much on their sleeve, and they get really butthurt about it. And they don't like Chris Jericho, so they're mad that Kenny is teaming with Chris Jericho. So now they're gonna fight about it. So. I'll be honest with you. Somebody had posted a video that I came across on TikTok, and he was just like, the Young Bucks have like these like punchable faces. Like I don't know what it is about them. I do not like them. Like like it's not even like a heel babyface sort of thing. Like even when they're like I just don't like them. Like there's something about them that just rubs me the wrong way. It's maybe a look, and I think it is because they have punchable faces. I'm just not a fan.
I agree with you on the punchable faces. Okay. Yeah, I'm not saying I don't like the Young Bucks. Like, don't get me wrong, they're tremendous. You know what I mean? Like they could do some tremendous things. I think they do some funny things, but like there's times where like they like gravitate to you, I guess. But then there's times, like you said, it makes you want to just punch them in their fucking face. You know what I mean? Like I think of like last night, like the whole promo stuff with Ken and everything. Like they just did so bad in it. I think in the backstage one. Because I think it even caught, like, Kenny off guard and even Jericho when he came in, like, off guard. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they just, I don't know. The way they were arguing with them, like, it was so, yes, punchable in your face, childish shit. But like, I think about the match they had with Phoenix and Pentagon, like in the cage match. But just like them coming out, like I love their ring entrance. You know what I mean? I love the pose, I love the confetti, all that, and everything. But you know what I mean? Like there's times where it's like I really like the Young Bucks, I fucking hate the Young Bucks. So I agree. Yeah.
Riley, do you copy those feelings, or how do you feel about the Young Bucks?
I've never liked the Young Bucks.
All right.
From the first time I was introduced to them. I don't know what it is about them. Look, it's probably their face, just punchable. but they do have talent.
Yeah. But for like people like
so,
the problem is
I mean,
like somebody like Meltzer thinks that like they're the greatest tag team of all time. Like
Yeah.
Yes, Spot Fest wise, they might be the greatest tag team, one of the greatest tag teams of all time.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna say the greatest, I say one of them. But like, to me, like I'm mostly about storytelling and stuff, and like, I wouldn't even put them in top 10 tag teams of all time.
Yeah, they don't do a great job of storytelling, and
now,
even
now with the Spot Fest stuff, is that because they're VPs of the company and they can put these in? So they have all these awesome spots.
That's more their style even before they were VPs. Like that's just all they've always had that type of. That's even in New Japan.
Well,
they had that style
to me,
match.
like I said, outside like the cage match they had with Phoenix and Pentagon. Yes, that's probably one of like the best tag matches like in AEW because it wasn't just mostly spots. I think being in the cage, they were able to tell more of a story, like of brutality and whatnot. But like the tag title match they had with Hangman and Kenny, that was freaking an amazing match. But there was so much story to that. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm hoping
there was a personal thing
I'm
going
hoping
into
that
it.
this match will be kind of like that. I honestly I don't know. I wish there was some kind of like heel turn out. I don't know. I like Jericho and Kenny better as heels, personally.
Yeah. Here's my thing. Like I cannot get into a lot of their matches because of this. Like they look like just your average Joe walking off the street. Like they don't look the part. But then they like this is literally like a sequence in a Young Bucks match. Nick Jackson takes a top rope cutter followed by a knee to the face, followed by a tombstone pile driver, followed by a power bomb, followed by a like bomb dropped on him, and then he kicks out. Like that shit, like it's move after move after move after move that like are all finisher moves that have been established through the history of wrestling as these devastating finishers, and then he kicks out, and then he fucking wins with a roll up, and that shit drives me absolutely bonkers.
The poses,
yeah, and like it's the super kick parties aside, like whatever, the Usos hit a lot of super kicks in their matches and stuff like that too. We've already established like that's no longer a protected finish. Like Shawn Michaels has joked about it, like it is what it is. But it's just like the devastation that they put themselves, the peril that they put themselves in and kick out of it every time. It's just so unbelievable to me. I just never get into any of their matches because I know basically how it's going to go. They're going to take all this unbelievable punishment, somehow kick out of it, and either lose with a roll up or win with a roll up, and that's going to be the end of it. And I also hate their finisher too, which is that Meltzer driver. Because it's not protected and people kick out of it all the time, and that should never be kicked out of.
The one thing they do have really cool of is I do like their theme music.
Yeah, it's all right. That's all right. All right, so that brings us back to this match, right? So the Golden Jets versus the Young Bucks. So the stipulation on this is if the Golden Jets lose, they can no longer tag together. Where if the Young Bucks lose, they have to give their tag team championship opportunity that they have to the Golden Jets. So that being said, what's it going to be? Are we going to see the Golden Jets go after the tag team titles, or are they just going to never exist again? I'm going to say it's going to be the Golden Jets because I don't like the Young Bucks.
I think Young Bucks are gonna win. Well, I get no. Sure, I go with who I want to win. I want Omega and Jericho to win, obviously. So I'll just go with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going. Yeah, we're going with who we want, not who we think. Riley?
Before I say my pick, is Paul White okay?
Who? Oh yeah. We
He
probably
took
should talk
a-
about that
what.
match.
Yeah, we didn't.
It's pretty.
That
it's
match
pretty,
was.
It's pretty safe to say like he can't do much anymore. Just because,
Yeah.
but for him to do that spot for Powerhouse Hobbs, like to give that back to him, and for Powerhouse Hobbs to safely drop him, you know what I mean? Like that's not. I mean, I know Paul White kind of controlled everything, but for those two to pull that off, like that was.
It wasn't even the drop to the car that looked that devastating. It was the roll off to the pavement.
Well,
he
and
hit
I
hard.
and I,
when he
I think
down.
I have a theory too of why he and Jericho wore suits, not only to match because obviously they're former tag team champions, but I'm thinking it has something to do with maybe like Paul White was really garbed up underneath with some padding, probably and braces and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
I didn't hear that or anything like that. That's just my own.
Take the
Maybe that helps.
Well, and I mentioned how goofy his legs looked, when he came out in his gear the week before. So maybe they were trying to hide that too, because with that big knee brace that he had on, his one leg looked like triple the size of the other one.
That's just my guess, but
that match was kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a promo match. They got paid 6 figures for it.
And good for them. I mean, WWE does stuff like that all the time too.
Yeah.
Like there's no problem. And I thought they integrated the stuff in pretty nicely. Kota Ibushi coming down with,
How about
with a bike.
Taz going, he got a bicycle. Remember, like, you ever watch Botchamania? And the whole Dusty with the bicycle. Taz, he got a bicycle. He said it just like Taz, Dusty.
I think he could have laid in those shots with the pipe a little bit more.
Like, it was like Orange Cassidy shots.
Yeah, but the shots with the bicycle, people landing on the bicycle, I cringed every time they took a hit from that.
Well, how about when Brian Cage clotheslined him off it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was right after that.
Yeah, because I see him like going down and lightly tapping the guys with the pipe. I'm just like, whatever. And then Cage comes out of nowhere and just land back. So I'm like, oh my
God. Sorry, I pissed my pants when I still can't get over when Taz said that. You got a bicycle.
And the other spot though, that suplex that Brian Cage had on, was it Kenny, that he deadlifted him over the ropes.
Through the tables.
That was incredible. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was crazy. But how about Kenny doing the one-winged angel to Brian Cage? Like, that was...
Yeah. Brian Cage is a beast.
Yeah.
And I thought it looked really well. Like, I've seen him do that move where it looked like, he shouldn't have done that to that guy. But this actually looked, to me, smooth.
Oh, yeah.
Like, all the
he
way
delivered
through.
it perfectly. He did a great job. All right, let's see what we got next on the list.
I'm gonna give my pick.
Oh, you didn't give your pick yet?
Yeah,
My bad.
no.
What's your pick on that one?
I'm gonna go with the Golden Jets.
Oh, okay.
I figured
I think you just
all right. Said the Young Bucks could
go
fuck themselves.
All right, so then, and this one's a pretty okay story that's been built to the match for the international championship between Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley. Moxley, this has been a pretty personal rivalry. I think the opening match of Dynamite featured Moxley and Yuta versus Hook and Cassidy.
Yep.
I got a couple issues with that match. One, Yuta wasn't legal when he pinned Hook. He was not tagged in. He came in for the pin, not tagged in, and got the pin and got the win. That's one problem I had with that. And how, like, are we expecting?
No, he got the tag.
When? I went back and rewound it. He was not tagged.
Really?
He did not tag. Yeah,
I would have sworn like he threw him into he got the tag.
So Hook hooked Moxley with a red rum, right? And
Yep.
then Moxley like made eye contact with Yuta, and he drug him over, and Yuta hit Hook, but he never tagged Moxley. I went back and rewound it and watched it just to make sure that I was right about that. He never tagged Moxley, but then he came in and pinned him after Moxley hit that the Death Rider on him.
See, I thought the opposite. Like, Moxley just did all the work, and then Yuta came in and pinned him.
Yeah, yeah. And I bet you they'll probably have like a buy-in match between Hook and Yuta would be my guess, because Hook seems to only be able to get on the buy-in for these shows. But freaking Super Moxley, like he no-sold everything Orange Cassidy did to him. So it's like going into this match, how are you expecting Orange Cassidy to even have a chance when he hit him with the Orange Punch and he no-sold it? Like he hit him with like a couple other big moves and he no-sold it. Like Moxley is like apparently in such a rage right now that he's just not feeling any pain. Apparently, like I don't know what to make of that.
I will say for Orange, like that put doubt into his mind. Like he had no doubts whatsoever, and I don't know. Like he was holding his fist, just staring at it at the end. Like, that did nothing to him.
Yeah.
So
and I feel like that and Orange has been like really showing his aggressive side, and I think that's his Moxley's way of saying, "Oh, you think you're being aggressive? Well, let me show you what aggressive really looks like." So, I mean, it's gonna be an interesting match, I guess, to see what happens. Like, I feel like it's probably gonna be dominated by Moxley. I would love to see if Orange wins, maybe hitting Moxley with like a brass knucks on a Orange punch or something like that. But
I think that something like that's gonna happen.
So I'm gonna go Orange just because I like Orange Cassidy. I like Mox too, but I don't know. I'm just gonna go Orange on this one.
I like them both as well, so I guess I'll go with who I think is gonna win. And I think Orange is gonna win. He's gonna do something. Now you said that, I think he'll do something like that. Roll quarters or something.
All right. Oh boy, they need to stay away from the roll quarters.
Yes, yes they do.
What about you, Ryan?
I'm going with Orange as well. I think he's going dark.
He's going dark. All right.
He's going dark.
He's going tangerine.
Is he going to spoil?
Yeah.
Is he going to get moldy? All right.
He's going to come back as pickle juice.
All right, and then we got the trios match, which is Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland versus Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. And then, of course, Ric Flair is going to be in the corner of Sting, Darby, and Adam Copeland. How about, dude, I mean, Ric Flair is going to turn on Sting in this match, right? Like,
I'm sure.
How this
it's going to happen eventually.
Is it too soon?
I think it's too soon. but Ric Flair is such a big Michigan fan, so fuck Ric Flair. I still have a Woo Energy in my fridge. I bought a long time ago. I still haven't tried it yet. I'm kind of...
Oh, you haven't tried the psychedelic mushrooms yet?
Yeah, I'm a little afraid to. I will say, I bought it, and because Giant Eagle carries it, and I almost went... So he came to the Giant Eagle right by my house.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't he at the Giant Eagle real close to you?
But then, like, something, I wasn't feeling good or something like that. I just which I'm glad I didn't, because I guess, like, the line, like, I would have had to get there at, like, 2 o'clock or something like that. People said, like, we're there waiting on him. So, like, it would have not worked out. But anyway, so, like, they were selling it. I'm like, okay, I'll buy it. Like, I could not find a price tag on it anywhere. I was like, whatever, I'll buy one. $5 a can.
Wow.
So, like, that was the caveat of, like, the meet and greet with him is that you had to buy a 6-pack of it, and the 6-pack is $30. So that made sense. So I thought that was just, like, for that. I'm like, okay, it's you gotta pay $30. It's to meet Ric Flair. You have to buy a 6-pack of his Woo Energy and all that. Nope. That legit. If you want a 6-pack, it's $30.
Wow, that's
wow.
That's a lot for an energy drink. But I mean, I guess that's energy drinks are like the hardest space to get into, and the fact that they, that AEW is now the official home of Woo Energy. Like that's a part of the contract that he signed. Like basically, Woo Energy is paying his contract because they're giving AEW the same amount of money that he costs to promote the product, which, you know, it's good business, but at the same time, like the thing with energy drinks is like if you don't have a distributor like Coke or Pepsi or something like that that owns it or partners with you to give them your distribution, like you're gonna have a really hard time getting that sold, and especially if it's only in like Giant Eagles. Giant Eagle's like local or around here, but it's not like it's everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, those distribution deals are going to be tough for him.
I'll stick with my C4s. So,
yeah,
C4 is the best.
I mean, Zoa's are pretty good, and they'll give the Rock credit, but they're also hard to find on the shelves.
You can't go wrong with an orange slice C4.
I don't think I've had the orange slice yet. I'll have to try that. I mean, I'm partial to C4 just because, you know, they hooked me and my buddy up with that Kevin Hart experience last
I'll tell you
year.
what,
so
the Cherry Starburst is great. I don't know if you had any of the grapes, Jason, but like the grape flavor ones are really good. Yeah. You know, the thing is, like, I was scared to like drink one. Like, just because people said, like, all the shit that's in it. Like, honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't feel any of the, like, shittiness of energy drink like I normally have. So, yeah. Drink C4 over Woo Energy.
All right, cool. So that brings us back to this match. Sting, Darby Allin, Adam Copeland
I know what's going to happen,
Christian
Jason.
Cage,
Barry Windham's going to come out and reform the Four Horsemen with Flair and Tully.
I mean, this is Adam Copeland's like first like pay-per-view since he's been with AEW, right? They got to win this match, right?
I mean,
I don't know.
That's what I'm going with.
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
Well, it's who you want to win, not who you think's going to win. So, okay, so your pick is Christian then.
I think if Flair's going to be out there, they're going to do something to Flair that makes them all go like, "Oh no, don't hurt Ric Flair," and cost them the match.
Great analysis there, Riley. Oh no, don't do that to Ric Flair.
So you think that's what's you're picking Christian, Lucha, and Wayne?
Yes.
All right. All right, and then we have the Women's World Championship match.
Which is card?
I know, right? Two more. These are the last two.
There's three.
There's three.
Well, I mean, I'm not counting 0 hour match.
We gotta count that, right?
All right, I guess we can count the 0 hour match. All right, so Women's World Championship: Hikaru Shida versus Timeless Toni Storm. Dude, when they did that vignette, the backstage, when it went from as soon as that dude opened the door, it went to black and white.
Oh, she's got it. I want her to win. She's got it.
And
all the above.
The filter that they use for her voice and everything is when she's in the black and white is awesome. Like it's so, the presentation is so good. But it's like, yeah, but then you never want to see her lose though if she win. Like I feel like she doesn't need to be in the title picture, but she is. But maybe her being that champion will actually finally bring some story to the women's championship.
There's no
like,
reason she can't hold it for close to a year, and then if she ends up losing it, they find something else that like that. I don't think it'll hurt her or anything. You know what I mean? Like I think they could give her the title and be a great story build with it. So yeah, I want her to win. She needs to win.
Yeah,
and how Juice Robinson,
like, I love that character.
Good God.
Good for him. Yeah, Riley, what's your thoughts? You going Timeless Tony, or you like Hikaru Shida? All right, so I guess we're gonna go the buy-in match, which is the ROH Tag Team Championship match. You got the Guns facing MJF and maybe a partner. So
I think so.
Is it gonna be Samoa Joe? You think?
But that's the problem. Is like this.
Dude.
Again, a buy-in match. and you have something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Did you guys see Samoa
Oh my
Joe's
God,
match that he had on Dynamite?
Did you see the still picture of the guy jumping? He's
Yeah,
like,
he
what?
like turned and was like, "What the
To me, that's one of the best spots that there is Samoa Joe doing the walk away. But the
Yeah, nope.
But the fact that the guy was like, look at him, like, what the? So funny. Yeah.
Too good. It was priceless.
Yeah.
It really
I don't
was.
know. If the guns come out to 50 Cent again, I'm going with the guns.
No, I will say that, like, even without the 50 Cent, though, their entrance is just awesome. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
Just the shooting, like, that's so good. The presentation's amazing. Then you got the fucking nut job Juice Robinson, just kind of like.
No, I think the guns win.
Do they win if MJF's or if Samoa Joe's his partner though?
I don't know, guys. It's so hard to call.
I see that. That's the thing. I don't think so. Like if Samoa Joe's his partner, I don't see him losing. Like if it ends up being Max Caster, or if it ends up being like somebody like that, or even if it ends up being nobody, like I could see it just being nobody and him defending it on his own and getting beat, and then having to overcome that then to face Jay White later. Like that would make sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Put him at a disadvantage. Like he already lost the 2 titles, and then he feels bad because he lost the belts that he and Adam had. Yeah. It makes more sense, honestly, for the Guns to win this match because
the Ring of Honor titles don't mean anything.
Especially if they really don't. I mean, Samoa Joe just relinquished one and nobody cared. But I really think, though, let's say the devil is Adam Cole, because I fully believe we're going to find out who that is at this show, right? We have to. They can't. There's no way they can keep drawing this out because it's already getting a little like fever pitched, right? Like I feel like if they let it go too long, people just won't care. But like if it is Adam Cole, they can't still be ROH Tag Team Champions, right?
I mean, you could.
They could be.
Yeah, I guess they could, but I don't know. I just don't. I feel like it's going to put MJF at a even more of a disadvantage if he loses those championships before he has to face Jay White. So I'm gonna say that the Guns end up winning. So. I kind of want the Guns to win too. So, what do you think, Riley?
So I think he does the match by himself. He loses, and then he contacts Samoa Joe to be on his side, and that is how he retains the belt versus White.
So Samoa Joe helps him retain. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think he's going to retain too against Jay White.
And then we're gonna get and then we'll get the reveal
that's
of
why,
who, what, and. But the thing is too, like, where does Wardlow play into this stuff? Like, or is this just a build for down the road with Wardlow?
See, I feel like it's almost has to. I feel like Wardlow almost has to be a part of what's going on because it's like you have too many people going after him right now. Like at some point, those storylines have to intersect in one way, shape, or form. So I feel like if Wardlow is in that group, because there's four guys, right? So there's Cole, there's probably Roddy. Well, I guess if it's Cole, Roddy, and the Kingdom, then that's 4 guys right there. So maybe not. Maybe that is a little separate thing.
I know we're trying to wrap up, but like when Roddy and then we're doing the backstage segment, and I don't know, is it Mike Bennett or whoever was behind him rubbing his neck brace? They just as they cut to that's just the first thing you see. Oh, so funny.
I every time Roddy shows up on screen in the wheelchair with the glasses on and the neck brace, I laugh. Like I just like it gets me every time.
Here's the thing, like real quick too, like as much as we shit on AEW and stuff, we talked so much tonight about so many great things that they have going on. Like why can't they just stuff going on? Just weed out some crap? You know what I mean? Like it just. I don't know, they have it right there. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
You have to have so much shit to find just
And
a
on that
little bit
note,
of gold.
Well, it's like, yeah, but it's the whole. Things are getting better. Storylines are getting a lot better. I think Tony Khan needs to take a step back and stop with these major announcements.
Oh yeah.
Like, who's the signing going to be? Is it Osprey or is it Mercedes? Like that's the only two people I can think of it possibly being.
Yeah.
That would
Is
make
it
an
Dolph?
impact.
Is it Goldberg? Is it?
But it's somebody
that's true.
respected, so it's not going to be Goldberg.
I can't see it being Osprey just because he's worked there in there. Like unless it's exclusively. But here's the thing, I can still see Osprey working New Japan and other things. You know what I mean? It's not like he's gonna be exclusive.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I can see it being Mercedes Monet.
I honestly, I still think Osprey could go to WWE. So
he could. All right. Well, I guess the last pick, the wild card. Then who's the devil? I'm going. Britt Baker into Adam Cole. I guess. I'll play into that theory.
Yeah, it's either Adam Cole. It could be Osprey if that's the signing, unless he doesn't announce. No, he's gonna announce it. No.
Yeah, because that's gonna be its own separate segment. It's not CM Punk.
It's probably not CM Punk. I would go with you. I'm gonna say it probably is Adam Cole. But if it is CM Punk,
all right,
AEW, that basically.
I think too much was made over that whole glass thing, because that was totally. If you look back at that is totally a room that they built specifically to throw somebody in the glass. Like this, going like that.
Yeah,
I think that was the same wrestler. I think it was the same wrestler who wrestled Samoa Joe, because he was like.
He had like a Sunday school desk in there with like. And it was just a weird, that was such a manufactured room. But what's your pick? Who's the devil, Riley?
Oh, I'm gonna go with Cole, but Kyle O'Reilly is somewhere involved in that.
Okay, all right. I like Kyle O'Reilly being involved. All right. I'm not even gonna speculate on who the signing is. We'll just kind of leave it at it's probably. It's got to be probably Mercedes. So. But did you see that, Riley? Like Tony Khan announced that he's going to sign somebody.
I missed that.
Okay, so I think they talked about a little bit on Dynamite, but it was a tweet he sent out or something like that, and I could probably pull the tweet up rather quickly because it showed up on my feed. I can read the whole thing. Let's see. What the fuck, dude? You follow that Kenny for your thoughts guy, right?
Or Riley?
Yeah, you.
I think I do. I know I've seen some of his stuff.
Yeah, you gotta see the latest thing that he posted. It just popped up on my feed, and it was a little concerning.
I can't wait.
A pro who is known plus respected by virtually every AEW fan. They'll come to LA to sign their contract this Saturday, 11/18 on pay-per-view at AEW Fullgear. See you tonight on Dynamite.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. What if it's LA Knight, since he's supposedly in contract disputes with WWE?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, how crazy would that be, though? But no. That's not gonna be it. But yeah, I feel like it's got to be Mercedes. Like I can't think of any other free agent,
right? Especially
out there
a West Coast
really
thing. Like, wasn't her
bill.
first match back with New Japan that was in California? You know what I mean? So
yeah. So, and supposedly she's getting back healthy. She hasn't been shown on camera at all anywhere since she made that little appearance in the crowd at All In. So. But yeah, so that about does it. I'm ready to wrap this episode up. What about you guys?
Are thinking the same. Like, hey, asshole, let us outside. Yep, you can hear it. Yep. Okay, Doug.
All right, cool.
Jesus.
Riley, you got anything?
Well, not if two dogs have to go to the bathroom. I'll save it for another time.
Oh, okay. Did we ever get your note? Was it?
He didn't.
I mean, I had a couple, but I did the Sparkles with Kevin Owens.
Oh, that's right. The Sparkles. All right, cool. All right, well, hey, thank you guys for listening to this week's episode of the show. If you want to join in the conversation, find us on X at Live Your Gimmick. You can also make sure to leave a comment on whether you listen on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Spotify, whatever you listen to. Leave us a good review and leave us some comments on how you like the show. Outside of that, that's really all I got. So, hopefully you enjoy AEW Full Gear this weekend. We'll definitely be catching up on it, checking it out. For Riley and Kevin, my name is Jason, reminding all of you beautiful wrestling fans out there to be a fan and always live your gimmick. Goodbye, everybody. Nothing? All right, cool. All right.